First on the agenda is to approve the minutes.
Make a motion to approve both sets of minutes. I think we can do that together, right?
Yeah.
There's
I'll
been a
second.
motion by Glenn,
I'll
second
second
by
it.
Jeff. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Next on the agenda is approving the claims. Once again, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make that motion to approve.
Motion by Tim,
I'll second it.
second by Jeff. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? First thing on the agenda, we actually talked about this in the last council meeting. That was the city calendar, which we need to approve. One of the questions on there was the Juneteenth, the extra holiday. I think I sent a lot of information out to all of you about the different possibilities that we could do. So with that, it's kind of, I guess at this point, up to you guys as to which way we want to go.
Yeah, so the options that you had communicated to us was, one is to substitute Juneteenth for President's Day in order to keep the same number of paid holidays.
Right.
Number two is we can add Juneteenth as a new paid holiday and allow employees with supervisor permission to take one flex holiday off on a day when others are still working to keep the city open.
Correct.
And three is we add Juneteenth as a new paid holiday and keep the two flex days as they are now, which would give our employees one extra paid off holiday.
That's correct.
I never thought to ask this, but is this a mandate, a federal mandate, state mandate? This has to be included?
Juneteenth does.
Yeah,
It's a
okay.
federal holiday.
Right.
Or you have to pay them holiday pay, I believe, time and a half.
I think the national did it 2 years ago, and the government open did it last year, I think. Do we get,
The
we don't get any-
the state takes it off.
the state takes it off, but we don't get any kind of reimbursement from anybody for it. We just got to take it out of budgets and.
Well, it's
I mean, it's already in.
already in the budget, you're just not getting,
Right.
you're not getting any work for the,
Right.
for the day that you're paid.
It's
It's
actually not costing us anything.
not costing anything, it's just not, you're getting anything for it.
In fact, we're
Yeah.
actually saving a little money. I think I explained that before, because on the day that we're not paying part-time people for that particular
And
holiday.
because of that, you know, I hate to shut down the city for another day of closure.
Right.
I'd rather, I personally look forward to a floating holiday that I can enjoy it whenever I want to, you know, and I think.
So basically, it would be a matter of adding Juneteenth as a holiday and then taking that other day and making it one of the days as a floating day, so they could take it whenever they wanted to, rather than having to specify that it's MLK Day or President's Day or whatever it happens to be the day.
I like that idea.
So do we actually close city office on President's Day?
We are right now.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
So the two floating days now are used for President's Day and
and the day after Thanksgiving.
I think everybody kind of wanted the day after Thanksgiving. Did you
Yeah.
say that, Tom?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of a standard.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I mean, my recommendation would be the fact that we add the Juneteenth holiday, but make one of those flex days a day that the employees can actually take it. They don't have to be spelled out as far as that particular day they have to take it.
Correct.
So that way they still get 12 days of regular days that they are designated days, plus one extra full flex day.
Right.
That's how I look at it.
That's what I would agree to.
I agree on that too.
That's what I think as well.
So we need to vote on
So
that?
we're adding
adding a
a
holiday.
13th holiday as a floater,
Yes,
and we're keeping Juneteenth
as Juneteenth,
as Juneteenth.
yes. Make sense? Do we need to vote on that?
Did we do we get an amendment? Did we do an
I'm not
amendment?
sure we,
Addendum to the,
I'm not sure you passed anything
I don't
last
think we
month.
did pass anything last time. Did we
So
want to?
I'm a little
no, I
confused.
mean, I got it right here.
Okay.
It's Addendum number 2 to the Policy and Procedures Manual.
Okay.
Just have to be redone. Redone to reflect.
Redone to reflect the extra flex day, or whatever it happens to be.
So Juneteenth, 20th would be Juneteenth Day. The city office will stay open, but the employees get to use that as a floating holiday.
No, Juneteenth is a regular holiday
Okay.
for the city office. They
It's
would-
the other one.
It's the flex day, basically, that I think right now it's a President's Day or something,
The other one
where
is
it's designated as a President's Day as a holiday, but we'll use that as a flex day.
It's the other floater that's on that list, yeah.
So you're going, you got two floaters right now.
No, it is on.
President's Day and the day after Thanksgiving.
Correct,
You're just going to allow President's Day to float, when they can take that whenever they want.
correct.
you're still going to have Thanksgiving, Friday after Thanksgiving as a
That's
holiday,
correct.
paid holiday.
That's a paid holiday, right.
Let me throw out, would you just want to put that as a personal day rather than call it a holiday?
That's fine.
I mean, give them 3 personal days rather than
As long as we meet the federal guidelines.
What, they have 2 personal days now?
2 personal days, but then you get them on January 1st.
It'd be the same thing, wouldn't it?
Now, what if somebody, when somebody starts in the middle of the year, do they get a floating holiday? But if they start at middle of December, do they get a floating holiday? Because this is going to come up. This really
You're
has
saying you have to be there January 1 in order to get
To get-
personal days.
to get personal days, 2 personal days.
If you take that one floater and make it a personal day, then they have to be employed on January.
Or else you just need to identify at what point
They earn
you
their.
do or don't get a
That
float.
extra
Like,
flex.
like 90
floating
days of employment? Do you have
I mean,
anything set
that's-
for 90 days or nothing? I think 90 days would be fair.
It's up to you. I mean,
If the employee lasts 90 days, he would be qualified for it.
Qualified for any holidays or any paid time off, whatever he's eligible
3
for
months.
anyway, yeah. I think it's pretty much that way anyway.
So essentially, we're choosing option 2. That's what
That's what I'm
we've done here, right?
Read that
And
again.
so option 2 is we can add Juneteenth as a new paid holiday and allow employees with supervisor permission to take one flex holiday off on a day when others are still working to keep the city open.
Correct.
So it won't be a citywide day off, but each employee can choose with
On that
supervisor
flex day,
permission
yes.
to.
So City Hall is just going to be closed the same amount of time. It's just that the employees would have one extra day to float around to take if they needed to do that, so.
In place of President's
In
Day.
place of President's Day, yes.
with supervisory approval.
With supervisory approval, yes.
That's just to keep everybody in the department from taking the same day off, right? I mean, that's
Well, I
what.
mean, that's,
So the
Yeah.
whole department
That's-
doesn't just shut down for whatever reason.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, yeah.
Makes sense? Is that,
so they have to be hired before October 1st?
Oh, so you think if they're hired in December, do they all automatically get it January 1st? Is that what you're saying? Is that the question?
No, I thought you were talking about 90 days.
I was thinking like they have a 90-day, if they get hired in February, it'd be 90 days later, they would be awarded this day? This floating holiday?
In crossover years, or, and that really becomes a nightmare.
I would say they have to be employed here by January the 1st to get that extra floating holiday.
Exactly.
So if they're hired mid-year, it doesn't count for them
Right.
that year.
Exactly.
If that'll make it easy for everybody.
It
I
makes it
guess.
a lot easier that way. And then that way, because it's a floating, it's a flex day anyway. At that point, they still get the regular holidays that the city hall's going to be
Aye.
closed.
Well, that sounds- If it clears up everything, I guess that'd be the right thing to do.
Clears
I don't
mud.
know. Get into it, I didn't.
But good question. I mean, it's good questions, because otherwise we have to ask about it later.
So do we need to vote on that, right?
Yep.
Okay. I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Tim,
I'll second it.
second by Jeff, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Couple just things for clarification going down through the agenda here. First of all, the Youth Little League, we actually, I think we've already discussed that probably amongst many times as far as the fact of the safety factor of Maple Park, the ball field over there, and moving them down to City Hall. We actually have agreed that they could stay there for this following year because obviously it's the 20th anniversary there. They're more than willing to then at that point move down to City Park. We were able to put 3 small fields into the men's softball field. I think we discussed that also about that. Dale has already started tearing out the infield, tearing out the grass already to get things started. So my only reason I brought that up is because obviously what we're going to try to do is to get some corporate sponsors, different sponsorships so we can help us with taking care of the expenses to do that. If not, we can come up with some other ways of doing it, trying to make sure we get it taken care of for the next fall season, basically is what it comes down to, so for fall ball. I just want to bring you up to date on what we were doing with that. leak stain discussion, obviously that is something that is probably pretty important to try to get things going on that. Obviously, the fact of the matter is we've got to get things moving before the season starts in order to have the seats fixed and things of this kind. Repair work has to be done to that stadium before we feel like we can even do anything with it. With that, it's a situation where, once again, we're looking for ways to pay for all this in situation, but I think we've got to figure out where we can do part of it now and maybe part of it later on as we go on things of this kind. So it's just to bring you up to date as to what was going on with that. There's also one other thing in your board pack. There is a program event report. I know I was asked several times to make sure our event planner basically kind of sends out what's been going on with the Old Town Hall, Market Street Park, things of this kind. He's been pretty active as far as trying to get things in Old Town Hall right now. Obviously, with the venue closing the way it did, it was kind of a busy situation for him. He got thrown to the fire, so to speak, I guess, for lack of a better way of putting it. But right now, I think they have in November, they had 11 days out of 30 that they had something going on at Old Town Hall. And there's already a lot of things scheduled for December, you'll notice on the information so far. So I think he's doing a great job. He's got a long way to go, but it's a start anyway. So I know that when we talked to the Bombers today, they were all excited about having somebody that could help them promote some of their stuff that they've got going on also for that type of thing. So once again, these are just kind of informational types of things that want to be covered up. The other thing we need to bring up is too, obviously, we need a resolution allowing us to pursue the property that we're looking at on Main Street. Is it 405?
405 North.
405 North Main Street. I would like to entertain a motion for you all to do a resolution to give us permission to go ahead with proceeding to try to figure out a way to do that, as well as to deal with the party involved.
As you recall, there's property, it's a residential property now, I think it's a rental property, 405 North Main Street. It's just north of the Dysinger building. The property owner has offered it for sale. The city can purchase real estate, but it has to adopt a resolution declaring an interest in that real estate and authorize 2 appraisals. You can then offer the average of the 2 appraisals. But the law does require that you adopt a resolution. The resolution would simply be, you'd have to number it, I don't have it written, but it'd simply be a resolution declaring an intent to, or an interest in the purchase of the property at 405 North Main Street and authorizing the mayor to retain 2 appraisals of the property. He would then have to bring that back to the council. If you choose to purchase it, make the offer at that purchase price, you'd have to authorize it and, of course, determine funding.
Well, the other reason for doing that, obviously, we all know we look at the parking. And obviously, that would be a situation where if we were to purchase that piece of property, it would be a big plus, I think, for all the downtown merchants and things of this kind to have much more parking we could put in there. So with that, I would entertain a motion to adopt the resolution.
2021-38.
I'll make that motion to adopt 2021-38.
Motion by Glenn,
I'll second it. Go ahead.
second by Jose. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Are we ready to go?
I will get that to your signature.
John?
Council?
Good evening.
Hello, John.
Pastor?
No.
Start off with the gas department. Set up 7 new services this month. So several of them were in Hunter's Crossing, 2 of them were over in Jasper. 8 services on file to be installed when they're ready. Contractors are ready. We did move 2 service lines this month for homeowners, installing pools. The expense was covered by the homeowner. We did finish up our annual leak survey this month. Like 2 weeks. That entailed 49 miles of mains and services we covered. Checking for leaks. We found 0 leaks underground. We found a few above ground on our regulator stations, which We're not reportable because they're so small. It's just basically tightening a nut, or greasing a fitting, which took care of the leak. So none of them were reportable, so it all went real well. Then they've been working on their atmospheric corrosion survey again this month. Been replacing a few meters that are in need of replacing. We got an order for some meters. We can't get a delivery date on our smart meters, our gas meters. We got 60 of them ordered. So we're gonna have to order some of our older style meters, but we did get confirmation that the smart device will fit on them meters. So like I say, they're getting kind of tight to get, just like everything else. You can't really get an answer when you're gonna get them delivered. You put your order in and hope you get them soon. So that's about it on the gas. Any questions?
I assume you got your other monitors ordered last meeting.
Do I?
Purchase the other readers you needed to get, we got those.
Yeah. Got them. On the electric side, again, we installed 5 services out of Hunter's Crossing. And we got services to the 3 duplexes on the north side. And then we got our primary and transformer set for the south side, which if you've been by there, you can see they got all the blocks laid out, so they're gonna do foundations. And they did remove some trees on the property behind the city office here last month. I think it was like 4 or 5 of the trees we did remove. And then we put up a decor first of the month on 4th Street. And the crew's been working behind the gas light. As of today, they removed all the wires. We're completely off the poles that need to be pulled. So we're waiting on Spectrum and PSC to remove their facilities onto the new poles. Then we can pull the poles, and otherwise we're completely done behind the gas light or on the electric side. I think Wednesday they're going to start putting in new sewer main behind there. And PSC was going to be coming in this week to remove their stuff onto the new poles. Spectrum, they gave us an answer that they got it on the schedule, but we can't get a date on when they're going to remove them. So we're working on that. Any questions on the electric?
Is there any cost to the city when we start a project and an outside firm like Spectrum has to come in and move their utilities to another pole? Do they just take that upon themselves to do it, or do they bill the city for any of that work?
No. They take it on all themselves. We don't remove them because if we would damage something while we're moving their stuff, they could come back and charge us. So we don't mess with their stuff. We just rely on them to come replace it.
Okay.
And we charge Spectrum by the year per pole. I think it's billed out in April. They do pay a monthly pole contact fee. But other than that, you know, they're gonna move their own stuff.
Okay.
Any questions on the electric? All righty.
Thank you.
One other thing, since we acquired this property back here, brought up years ago about, I don't know if council's feelings, putting a generator for the city office here. Wasn't really feasible since we didn't own the ground right behind city office. We would have to put the generator pretty far away, and that entailed quite an expense on running the wires and everything. Since we have acquired that property, the council's feeling on checking into a generator maybe for city office. We have one for the utility office, we have for the electric department down there, and we have one for water, wastewater, fire department, police. I don't know what the council's thought on go ahead and checking on the generator for city office. We'd have a major event where we could still function here at city office. Because right now we don't have anything. When the power goes out, we're down.
We have flex days.
Yeah, we got one more now. I think that'd be a good idea.
I agree.
I agree.
I agree.
I think we need to
Go ahead
check.
and at least get an estimate of what it would be and then bring it back to us.
Back when they got the generator to the fire department, I think it was right after 9/11, and I think Homeland Security got a grant from them. I don't know if that's available anymore. I think the safety director was in charge of getting them grants years
Yeah.
ago. So I'm not sure if that's available anymore.
Would that be some type of infrastructure project that ARP money could be potentially utilized for?
I think it would qualify,
It
yeah.
probably would,
Yeah.
yeah.
I like John's idea, see if we can get a grant.
Yeah.
That's number one.
Check around, but in my opinion, I think it'd be a good
Yeah, I definitely think it's a plus.
for city office to,
Yeah,
a major event come through, a tornado or something where we can still be up and running here at city office. Otherwise, we have major damage somewhere,
Sure.
you know, city office would be down and out. You know, this is kind of the heart of this Huntingburg.
Would that run off of natural gas, or would you
We would put it on natural gas, because we got a gas main that runs right along the back of the property.
get a move?
That way, you can go in diesel fuel, but then
no.
you got maintenance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You only got so much time on that.
Down at our control center down there, we run on natural gas.
Yeah, that'd be good.
How big of a structure or enclosure would that be?
I figured we would mount the disconnect and the disconnect panels on the back of the building, and we could probably set it real close to the back of the building. So it would be very low cost, but minimal cost on running the wires inside. Then the unit's probably 3 foot by 8 foot.
So it would sit up kind of next to the building like a residential AC unit would, just
Just
be a
like
little
we have
bigger.
down at our
That
utility
wouldn't
office.
affect at all with the parking plans,
Yeah.
whatever we're putting back there at all, so that's
Okay.
good.
I think it'd be a good investment.
Hey, sounds good.
Council would like for me to check into it.
So-
I can start
I would
investigating.
like for you to check into it, yes.
Do we need to make a official motion on
I
that?
don't think so, he's just gonna bring numbers back to you.
Okay.
I'm looking at the chart that you give us on here for the cost of the cubic feet of natural gas. I mean, it's amazing how much it's went up from a year ago. For November, December, do you you see that leveling off anywhere? Or you still see that climbing? Do you know?
I got a estimate for November, and it's gonna be less than October
Good.
due to November forecast being warmer than
Yeah.
normal, and they're forecasting December to be warmer than normal, so hopefully,
Yeah, we're looking at 4%, over 4% from a year ago today, I mean, for the month.
yeah.
Wow. Okay.
So the weather's gonna drive it.
Back down.
Major factor is the weather.
Okay.
So
Whether or not we use
like I
it.
said, our estimate right now,
Weather's right.
Whether we use it or not, there you go.
cost is a little lower than October's cost.
I hope so. Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Appreciate it.
Thanks, John.
Thanks, John.
Jared?
Gentlemen,
Hello,
Good
Jay.
evening.
I'll start with distribution. We had 3 new services installed this month at Hunter's Crossing. We removed 2 water services from the main, the property that the city obtained back here on Jackson Street. Pulled that off the main, and then at a residence at 509 on Old 231, we had a service that was in the property of 509, Old 231, that went to a house on Jackson Street. There used to not be a water main there. So they had to replace the water line, and there was some issues of being able to be on the other property. So we went ahead and pulled that out completely and moved the service to Van Buren Street. We had an old water main that was for future expansion over by Tim Ware's house at South Sycamore and 2nd Avenue. It went to your property about 150 feet. Once the city released the rights to that property to Tim, we decided it'd be a good idea to go ahead and remove that just in case there was any leaks on it. There wasn't any valving on it, so if it ever leaked, it'd be right by his pole barn. We'd have to shut that whole block off there, 2nd Avenue from Chestnut, down 2nd Avenue, down Sycamore, back to 3rd Avenue. So we went ahead and took care of that and decommissioned that old main. Hickory Drive, we are actually I can't say done with it. We're waiting on our second back T sample. We just took that over today, so tomorrow around 1 PM, we'll know for sure that all of our back Ts have passed, and we'll be able to hook everybody's services back up to that main with no boil orders, and we'll be able to get our temporary water main off the ground, and everything will be back underground, which is thankful. We've had a few of those freeze up these last 2 weeks. We did have a water main leak at 302 Maple Street. It was just a hole in the bottom of the pipe. That water main was put in about the same time as Hickory Drive was, so it's in bad shape as well. It's on our list to replace in the near future. So we got that taken care of. And other than that, that's as far as that goes. That's pretty much all our distribution crew's been working on. That Hickory main project's taking up a lot of our time.
Would you have to replace that all the way down to 231, or would you stop somewhere?
No, it actually, yeah, we would. From 231 to, I get mixed up those streets over there. We're not over there a lot. I believe it's Maple Street.
I think you're right.
It is actually transite, which is concrete.
Oh.
So, and then from there, from that point to Hickory Drive, it is cast iron. And if we were going to replace it, we'd replace that old AC main as well. There's nothing wrong with it, but usually whenever you get a leak on the AC water main, it blows out a section of the pipe. So it goes from being able to put a repair clamp on it to replacing 20 feet at a time and people without water. And if we can do it in a controlled environment, it's better for everybody. So, other than that, that's all I've got for distribution. Our filtration plant, we've encountered some issues out there. One of the old concrete walls that were poured when the plant was built in 2003, we've sprung a leak. It's where the water goes from the filters into our chemical feed zone. We've got 2 pinhole leaks in that wall at the bottom of it, and we normally have a company come in to seal those up, and they drill a hole in the wall. They've got a special material that's potable water safe. Pump it in, seals up the holes, and that takes care of it. I was talking to Brad Coomer about it, and they actually have the equipment and the knowledge to do it. So we're going to be able to do that in-house and save a lot of money doing it that way. We're planning to do that Monday, December 6th. So we'll have the material in, and we had to order the potable water safe material, and we'll get that taken care of at that time. But that's all I have for the filter plant. And then the metering system, the same as is every month, we're going good with that. We've had 3 stale reports this month, and we did have to send back a large portion of our last shipment of meters due to their programmed wrong. So it's kind of held us up on getting them put in. Today, I counted them, we have 60 water meters left to put in, and then we'll be done. We'll just have those 250 remaining meters left to finish up our residential side of our water system. The SRF loan, I had some notes in there with that. John Wetzel, I've been in contact with him. SRF approved us for our purchases of our water meters and our new service truck. With that, we initially thought there was around $138,000 left on that loan. And we found out, John told me today that SRF said that we had a little more money than what we thought. They've got a number of $168,000. So the total of our meters in our truck is $122,155.52. So that leaves about $46,000 of extra money in that SRF loan. I don't know if, I assume I need your approval to spend more money, but this truck that we were going to purchase, we were so close on what was left in the loan versus what we could spend with the cost of the truck and the meters. We didn't really spec it out with any toolboxes in the doors or ladder racks or anything like that. Our main goal was to obtain the truck to replace the truck that needs replaced, and then from there we would add the equipment with water funds. They have told us, I've got an email that says that we can use those funds for anything that pertains to that truck. So as far as our air compressor and generator and ladder racks and stuff, we are able to do that. I've talked with the salesman at Sternberg's, and they can run that all through the price of the truck with the bed. The company that they're purchasing the bed from for the truck does all that outfitting. So I don't know if I get your approval, if you guys need numbers, we can sit down and go through what it's going to cost for the toolboxes and the shovel holders and ladder racks and stuff, and I can come back and let you know what the projected cost is, and we can go from there.
Do you expect that fully equipping the truck will consume most of that 46,000?
No, I don't. I really don't. Not at all.
So
I would assume maybe, if I had to put a number on it, somewhere between, I'll make a broad number, 10 to 20,000 after the generator, compressor, and ladder racks and stuff.
So do we wait until we find out what the extra cost will be, Bill, to approve that, or do we?
No, I think you can approve that. You can approve, he's got the funds. He's saying he's going to spend up to 20,000. You can approve that.
And if I'm going to sit down with them, we're going to go over the bed and spec it out with everything that we need on it. And if it surprises me and it becomes more than that, I'll put it on hold and come back to you guys and talk to you about it before we make a decision.
So we can pass it with a not to exceed amount.
That's what I would do, not to exceed.
Yeah.
I'm going to say not to exceed $20,000 or $25,000.
I'd say we go ahead and get permission to spec it out not to exceed $20,000.
Thank you.
Do you think that's adequate?
I do.
Yeah,
I do.
And so then what happens to, say it's 20, what happens to the extra 26,000?
You find something to spend it.
We can spend out other things with our metering program. We can add to that as well. Our main goal for our metering program with this last 250 meters will complete our residential side of it. With that being said, that's anything from an inch size meter down. We run meters all the way up to 6-inch meters right now, soon to be 8. But a larger diameter meter, it's almost $1,000 an inch. So a 3-inch meter is almost $3,000. We have a lot of those in the system. I've been working with Debbie, and we're trying to get those numbers figured out. I've got the papers, I just got to sit down and figure out what size and how many we have. So there's a large portion of money to still be put in our meter program. So we can definitely use it.
What do you do for your old meters that you remove? Do you sell them or do you scrap them?
We pull all the plastic out of them, and the meter body's brass, red brass, so we take it to the scrap yard, and then we bring the check to Amy, and she puts it back in our account.
Interesting, okay.
Most of the meters that we have in the ground we can convert to gallons, over 1 million gallons of water, and after that, they're not accurate anymore. So a lot of them are past their lifespan. We're just trying to get them replaced as soon as possible.
While you're here, we want to bring up, there's an amendment for that.
Yeah,
We
they're
do.
Yeah,
at $5,000.
$5,000 additional.
Midwestern Engineers, Amendment number 4, for the work that they've done on
Correct.
the truck and the meters.
Right, so I just need approval to go ahead and sign up for that.
You said that's an extra 5,000 or that, what is?
It's an amendment, it adds
Yes,
5,000.
additional engineering fee
Yes.
to do the application process and justify the purchase of the truck and the meters with SRF funds.
Okay.
So you need a motion to approve the amendment
The
to add
amendment number 4,
5,000.
yes.
Amendment number 4, yeah.
So he just said it's amendment number 4, I make that motion.
Okay, motion made by Glenn,
I'll second it.
second by Tim, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Now I can sign it.
All right.
Was there a motion on the SRF funds for the racks and generator?
I think I made a motion to not exceed, but I don't think we actually voted on it.
I don't think there's a-
Okay, there was a motion made of not to exceed $20,000. Okay, do I have a second? Jose seconded it. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay.
Well, that's all I have. So if you guys don't have any more questions. All right, well, I really appreciate it.
Thank you. Thanks, Jerry. You want to bring up the resolution about the end agreement?
Yes. The city is, from time to time, they receive NDOT funds. Most recently and most commonly, we received funds from community crossing grants to do street projects. And the NDOT, who administers those programs, would like a resolution from the Common Council stating that the mayor is authorized to sign those grant agreements on behalf of the city. The grant agreements still have to come before the council or before the Board of Public Works, but they just want some record of who in the city is authorized to sign those grant agreements. And so you have a proposed resolution that would authorize the mayor on behalf of the city to sign any grant resolutions or grant agreements with NDOT, including community crossing grants.
So it's not really changing the process of anything other than
Just showing that
NDOT wants
he's,
to know that we are okay with Mayor Schwinghammer signing.
yeah, as opposed to having all the council members sign all those
Yeah.
agreements.
Okay.
2021-39.
I'll make a motion to approve 2021-39.
Motion made by Jeff,
I'll second.
second by Tim, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
And that's all I have.
Tom?
Oh, okay.
It's up to you.
I guess it was last time, or this, no, it was just this time, provided you some historical information on the elected officers of the city, the salary ordinance, 2020-31 was last year, you have that. I also did a spreadsheet, with increases of 3%, 4%, and 5% in there. And then we have a blank. Then we have a blank resolution to fill in.
So basically what it boils down to is that it's, I know we talked about this with salaries and different things of this kind, we were going through the budget and so forth about increase of salaries and things as far as making sure that whether you give or you don't give type of thing, how it affects future years coming and things of this kind. So Tom put together the spreadsheet here showing the difference between a 3%, 4%, and 5% increase. So it gives you an idea of where it's at.
This would be for salaries of the elected official, the
Right.
mayor, clerk treasurer,
Mayor,
and
clerk
the common
treasurer.
council,
Right.
and utility board members.
Do we do each one of them individually, or do we do?
We usually do them all the same.
Do them all? It's just one
Yeah,
of them.
they would all be part of the ordinance.
Still
But
looking-
you could grant, if you're asking, you could grant different percentage
Different
increases
percentage.
That's what I meant.
Yeah.
to
Do we-
different
can we-
classes if you wanted, to
Yes, you
different
could do different percentages.
offices.
Okay.
I think in years past, we've always given clerk and the mayor the same increase we've done with other employees. It's just what's up in the air is what we do for the council.
Right.
So I'm looking over the numbers here.
You're looking at $5 difference between 3% and 4%.
Yeah.
So you want to make the council or the mayor and the clerk treasurer the same as the city employees, what we did for them?
I think we should just go ahead and approve it all for the same 4% increase, my opinion.
I was considering sticking the salary council as 3% and do the rest as 4%.
That's fine. Peanuts. I'm talking,
Talking $2.
yeah. It's not-
It doesn't, you know,
It's a perception, I guess. So,
It is. well, then what is it over the year? Well, you're looking at 5.
$8 actually, I guess,
Yeah.
yeah, well, compared to what is now, yes, yes.
total from all
Between
departments.
3 and 4, yeah.
I always preach on this, you don't want to get too far behind. Make some other council someday have to play catch-up with council salaries.
Yep.
Most years in the past, I think the council has taken a smaller increase than the rest of the city. And I agree with Phil on that. I think that every time we take a little less, it puts us a little further behind, makes it harder for some council in the future to attract people to take on this role. And somewhere down the road, somebody's going to have to do a really big increase to catch up, and it's going to be really unpopular. And so I think we need to do something. I think it'd be simple, as Glenn was saying, if we just stick with the 4, and we get a chance to look at this every year. So, but I'm okay with it either way.
Well, my recommendation would be to give you guys, the council, the same as you give the other elected officials, I mean, percentage-wise, or whatever that is, whatever you decide. I think that's the normal, fair way to do it, because you're elected also, so.
So you can't make the motion, we have to.
I'm not going to make any motions.
All right, I'll throw it back out there. I make a motion, we approve everybody on the elected officials for a 4% increase, same as what we're doing for the city.
There's a motion made by Glenn for 4%.
Do you have any counter argument, Tim?
Well, I would give my percentage to the ones on Board of Public Works and the Park Department, because those guys are the one that I figure are suffering,
We've increased
I
those.
know, and I'm thankful we did, and I think that needs to be looked at again next year.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah, their percentage, I know it started really small, so
Yeah.
a big percentage increase still doesn't net a lot of dollars, but
Right.
we went from 35 to 50, right?
yes, that's correct.
And I totally agree with you, we need to look at that again next year.
I think that's tough for them, but I would second the motion. I guess.
Motion made and seconded by Tim. All in favor?
All right,
Opposed?
Could suspend the rules.
So do we have an ordinance number on that?
2021-40.
Okay, it was already, was it introduced?
No, just now.
Okay, so that was a motion to
That was
introduce?
motion to
Introduce the
introduce.
number, okay.
Right?
Yes,
Well, we agreed on a percentage.
So now we need a motion to suspend the rules. and
Now we need a
accept
motion
this.
to
But when
suspend
is,
the rules.
when is taking place in January 1st?
Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
I'll make a motion to suspend the rules and accept the same night as introduced.
Motion made by Glenn to suspend the rules.
I'll second it.
Second by Jeff. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Now we need a motion to accept, right?
Yeah, motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
Make that motion
Motion
again, I
by
guess.
Glenn.
I'm happy to second it again.
Second, Jeff. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, good deal.
Kissling.
Aye.
Bounds.
Aye.
McFerrin. Dubon.
Aye.
Ware.
Aye.
4 ayes, 1 absent.
Last thing on here, Tom, is the utility financial statements.
Oh, I just,
Put them in there for information
that's just in there
purposes.
for
Okay.
you to know that they're there
Okay.
in your board pack.
Know that we have money.
Is there any other items to bring up before the council? Hearing none, is there any items brought up from the crowd? Hearing none.
Motion to adjourn.
I'll second
Motion
it.
to adjourn, second by Tim, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?